After many years of using the same design, Nvidia is finally giving gamers exactly what they asked for. Hi, this is E-Rock on Tech, and today we're taking a look at the brand new Nvidia app, which is here to replace the traditional Nvidia Control Panel. A few days ago at the time of recording, Nvidia released a brand new application simply called Nvidia App. It is currently in beta, and therefore that means it is not yet feature complete. If you download the application and start to use it, you will more than likely experience a couple of bugs here and there. The overall goal of the application is simple: bring Nvidia to the year 2024 with its GPU functionality. You see, if you're an Nvidia customer, then you know all these years, unfortunately, Nvidia has required you to use not one but two different applications in order to take full advantage of all of your GPU features. You need the Nvidia Control Panel and Geforce Experience. Now, not only does this make for an inconvenience to you, the user, but also the Nvidia Control Panel looks massively out of date. The UI looks like it was something that was built for Windows XP and they just left it alone. This thing looks archaic. So with the new application, they are aiming to simplify the process, bring everything down to just one application, and also give it a facelift and make it look like it was something that actually belongs in 2024. And so far, I gotta say, I'm fairly impressed with the application. I think it looks great. I think it runs well overall to be in beta. I like the look, I like the feel, I like the layout of the application, and I do like what I'm seeing here overall. Now, while the new Nvidia app does aim to simplify the process and combine the control panel with Geforce Experience, there are still some features locked behind the Nvidia Control Panel. These features have not yet been migrated over to this app, but ideally, over time, they should be integrated into the new Nvidia app. In fact, whenever you look at the new Nvidia app, under Settings, there is a section called Nvidia Control Panel, and it says Access Display and Video Settings. And so to me, that means that there are certain features related to the display that you're using or overall video settings, like setting custom resolutions, for example, that are still going to be locked behind the Nvidia Control Panel. So just be mindful of that. Now, chances are you've probably already heard about the application, and if you have, it's probably because everyone's talking about the same thing. The new Nvidia application no longer requires you to log in order to access your driver updates. And that is something that gamers and reviewers have asked for a very long time now. And to be honest with you, I never thought Nvidia would give us that. After all, they are a big tech company collecting all of your data. Why would they give up the ability to require you to create an account, give them more information, and log in using that account? So I'm very surprised by this. We do have to give credit where credit is due. AMD's been doing this for many years now with their Adrenalin software. It's a one-stop shop. Everything's right there. You don't need multiple applications, and you don't even have to log into the thing in order to access your updates or GPU information. And as far as I know, with the Intel application, it's the same thing. It's one application and no login required. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comment section below. I have not yet worked with Intel GPUs, but based on the research I've done, Intel does not require you to sign in order to access your GPU features or driver updates or anything like that. So this does seem to be a problem that was exclusive to Nvidia, and they are now fixing that. So, hey, awesome, congratulations, we win. Oh, and one more note about logging in. It is no longer required, but if you want to do it, you can, so the option is there. Additionally, there is one section in the application called rewards, and currently there is a Call of Duty double XP reward that you can claim. However, in order to claim it, you are required to log in, but to my knowledge, you can log in, claim the reward, and then log back out if you choose to do so. When you first open the application, you are greeted with a modern looking UI. All of your games and applications that the application recognizes will be pulled in on the top row, and then you can simply scroll over and go through all the other applications. You can also click the button that simply says See All, and then you will have a list of all of your applications and games on the left-hand side. You can click on each one and modify the settings individually. You also have a global settings tab. This is driver level settings. So this means anything you set here will automatically be applied to all the games and all the applications, whereas the program settings are specific to that application in question. Real fast, going back to the home tab, you'll also see a discover section. The discover section has things that you've probably heard of before, like GeForce Now. This is cloud gaming, Nvidia Broadcast for creators and streamers, Nvidia Omniverse, Nvidia Canvas, iCat, and something else called Frame View. Now, if you want any of these applications, you simply click Get and it starts installing to your PC. Next up, we have a driver tab, and I love this tab simply because because it actually gives you relevant information about the driver. So in this case, we can clearly see the latest driver gives us game ready support for Nightingale. Additionally, we can see what's fixed, and in this case it says gaming, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege stability issues when running Vulkan API. And then there is some other general fixes out there as well listed underneath that. And then in addition to that, up top there is a refresh button to check for new drivers, and if you're up to date, it will simply say reinstall if you want to reinstall the latest driver. You can also switch between game ready drivers and studio drivers, so that's pretty cool and clean, again all in one place. So I'm definitely a fan of this new layout. We do have a settings tab, assuming you have a gaming rig and not just a productivity rig or whatever, but fine, whatever, you know, but it says my gaming rig, and then it does outline your operating system, which mine is Windows 11 Pro, and then it has your graphics card. I have a 4090, and then it has the driver that's currently installed. It has your display information, your CPU. I currently have a 14700K in here. It has your RAM, and for me, I do have 32 gigabytes of RAM, but it doesn't list anything about your RAM. Like, it doesn't tell you what vendor or manufacturer it's from, like SK Hynix or Samsung or anything like that. It doesn't tell you the speed or anything like that. It also shows that I have 4 storage drives here, and the first 2 are SSDs, and that is accurate. And then it simply tells me that I have 2 more drives, but unfortunately I cannot click down and see what those drives are or what their storage capacity is. It has features like the Nvidia overlay. You can turn this on and off. If you want to have drivers automatically downloaded, then you can click the button for that, and by default it will automatically optimize newly added games and apps. And then at the bottom there is a link that will open the Nvidia Control Panel. Now next up, there is a change to the overlay. So instead of your in-game overlay taking up your entire screen like it did before with Geforce Experience, it now pops up on the left hand side, and you can now record your gameplay, and you can set the time limit for that. The default is 5 minutes. You can do an instant replay, you can take a screenshot, you can enter into photo mode. There's also a game filter section, but we'll come back to that. But right now I want to take a look at statistics. So in statistics, you can turn on your heads up display, and you can pick what you want to monitor. You can monitor your frame rate, your GPU utilization, your GPU temperature, your GPU clock, basically all the same things that you could before. The difference is that now there is a greater level of customization than what Geforce Experience used to offer. You can now choose every single individual component that you want to see. I mean, the sky is really the limit here. If the application can offer it, you can choose it. Now, there are still limitations, such as you can't individually name certain columns. So you can't call the GPU the 4090 in my case, for example. It's just going to default to GPU. So I would like to see more customization around that. So in that regard, I would still have to hand it over to MSI Afterburner, but this is a step in the right direction. Now, if you're not interested in the level of customization, they do still offer a basic view that simply gives you frame rate, GPU usage, CPU usage, and average PC latency. There is an advanced view that offers much more information than that. And there's also an FPS only view. So if you only want to see the frame rate, you can have that as well. I personally prefer the custom view so that I can pick and choose exactly what I want to monitor. Additionally, you can choose where you want this overlay to be. So you can have it in the upper right hand corner, you can have it center right, bottom center, bottom left, upper left, and upper center. In addition to that, you can change the layout. You can have it stacked, you can have it linear, or you can have a double layout. It's kind of like a mix of linear and stacked, but just not as stacked and a little bit more than the standard linear. Now for video recording, you can now record up to 4K 120 FPS. You can even take it one step further on the resolution and go up to 8K, but it brings the frame rate down to 60 FPS. Of course, you can adjust your bit rate as well. The higher the bit rate, the better the quality of the video. Now, before we go, I want to talk about RTX HDR and RTX Vibrance, because these are 2 new features that Nvidia has squeezed in there with the application, and I want to let you know what they offer and some of the issues surrounding these technologies. Now, first up is RTX Dynamic Vibrance, or just RTX Vibrance. This is AI powered, and the overall goal here is to make your picture look more vibrant. Now, from what I understand, this is pretty straightforward. It doesn't matter if you have an HDR display or not. It doesn't matter if you have 1 display or 5 displays. As long as you have a GPU that says RTX in front of it, you'll be able to use this in more than 1,200 games, is what Nvidia has listed on their website. And again, the idea here is to simply make your game pop and be a little bit more vibrant. Next up is RTX HDR, and just like RTX Vibrance, it is AI powered. And the goal here is to bring HDR to games that do not natively support HDR. Now, RTX HDR overall is a really cool concept. and I do like the idea of it. However, there are a couple of downsides to it. First of all, it did not work for me out of the box. I have two monitors connected to my RTX 4090. One monitor supports HDR, the other monitor does not. Either RTX HDR doesn't support multiple monitors, or RTX HDR can't tell the difference between which monitor is HDR compatible and which one isn't, and then it just turns off the feature altogether. Either way, once I unplugged my secondary monitor, which is not HDR compatible, I immediately had access to RTX HDR, so just be mindful of that. The other thing to take note here, RTX Vibrance, RTX HDR. Do you notice something about the naming there? RTX. That means Nvidia is using AI and taking advantage of the tensor cores in your GPU in order to utilize these features. That means you will notice an impact to your frame rate if you decide to use these features. Alex over at Digital Foundry did a full video about this. He showed some of the comparisons with RTX HDR on versus disabled. You can see a frame rate difference there. And of course, your mileage will vary from game to game, depending on which GPU you have. But what I do know for sure is that you will lose performance if you decide to use RTX Vibrance and/or RTX HDR. Now, with all that being said, overall, I think these technologies have incredible potential. It really just depends on how Nvidia continues to update these technologies and optimize them to take advantage of your hardware. Now, with all that being said, a lot of people are talking about RTX HDR being better than Windows Automatic HDR. That may or may not be true. I don't know. I didn't test that. I have never used Windows Auto HDR simply because I don't trust it. I don't really trust Windows to automatically do anything correct, and maybe I'm wrong for that, but that's just me. Anyway, with all that being said, what do you think about the new Nvidia app? Are you excited for it? What do you want to see Nvidia bring to the application? What do you think about RTX Vibrance and RTX HDR? Are these technologies you're planning to leverage? If so, let me know in the comment section down below. Hey, if you like this video, please do me a favor, hit that like button because it goes a long way in helping me out. If you're new, get subscribed. And until next time, E-Rock out.